Redneck Garage. Well, I'm back working on cars again after being sick. If you're watching my last video about the remodeling, you can tell that I've had a lot of stuff going on. But my eye doctor, Dr. Bill's coming over. We're going to try to take a look at why his tail lights aren't working, and I think his brake lights too. I originally looked at it and thought it was ground, cleaned up the ground, put it back on, everything seemed to work fine. Now he's saying it's not working again, so it's got some kind of demon, possession. We're going to lay hands on it and try to figure out, trace out an electrical issue with the tail lights and see if we can get the view from the rear where he's legal. Let's take a look. Here's the Yoda van. I got to zip it back together. I actually did wash all the mold and green stuff off the side. It does look much better. Could still use a little polishing, but there you go. I'm going to drive it around just a little bit once we get everything bolted back in. Hey, Doc is here! Yay! David! Yeah, man. I love this Jeep. It's awesome. He's got his Elvis plate. So, what do we got going on? What's up, Doc? I love saying that.
Yeah.
We got no tail lights, huh?
No tail lights.
Still?
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to do some diagnosing, some looking at. He's got his caffeine. He's ready to rock. It's got the standard Jeep tail lights, man. And we thought I thought I had that fixed with the ground issue, but evidently not. Flip them on. See what we got. What's going on with this? We got nothing. All right, that's good. You know, sometimes when it doesn't work, that's better than when it does work intermittently. So this should help. We'll take off a lens and see if we're getting any voltage in the back and make sure it's not still a ground issue somewhere along the frame. Because when he had it painted, you know, they take all that stuff off and you just never know if you got a loose wire somewhere. Holy crap. I took the cover off, now the thing's working.
He's a genius.
Oh yeah. What it tells me is it's probably a ground issue. I'm going to get in here and look. Because all I did was test with my power probe 4. Test to see if we had a ground, and then it started working. So I'm thinking it's got to be a ground issue with this tail light because it all goes here.
It went off when you put, see, now it's off.
That's on. Oh, there we go.
See?
So it's something in here where the ground comes in.
Yeah.
No way.
Okay, I'll turn it off.
Just leave the parking lights on for a minute.
Right. I need to turn power back on, or?
No, it's going on and off.
Okay. There.
Okay, so now I need to go to... Alright, so sometimes you just get a Gremlin, but it looks like maybe when they did the body work, they spliced the wires in incorrectly on that back harness. If we have any more issues with it, that's probably like an emergency call. Somebody got a rod stuck in their eye or something. Anyway, that's Mama.
No,
Looks like that when they redid the body work, he spliced the wires, but they were incorrect, and maybe put the bulb in backwards so it would work correctly, and then that just caused the lights to go out when it wiggled around. That's the only thing I can figure. I cut the wires on one light and flipped 2 wires, and now it works correctly. Everything's working right. So we're going to let her rip and tater chip and see what happens with that, because sometimes you just never know. It's working great now. He's going to drive it, find out what's going on. We're on to our next project, maybe working on the van, trying to get the seats and stuff back in it and go for a test drive. Who knows? As a side note, if you're going to be leaving the lights on to do testing, you might want to go ahead and hook your battery charger up beforehand rather than after the battery's too low to start the truck. So we're charging it back up. Yeah, hindsight's 20/20. Anybody ever tell you that? That's true.
Line.
Yeah, hindsight's 20/20. Okay, so the story got more interesting before we got finished. Before he left the driveway, once we jump started it off, the taillights didn't work again. How insane is that? So we started tracing it back from the very back, and I'll show you what we found. This was, I actually printed out wiring diagrams. This was the a taillight, what is this? Trailer wiring. Somebody had put the trailer wiring in, and we were able to find the factory wire, which is the blue wire right here. Tracing that back, knowing that it goes up behind there and up to the front. Got up underneath here and found that somebody had spliced this in at some point and done a jackleg job of it, and this wire, this blue wire, which goes to the back that powers the tail lights, actually had power on this end but was completely disconnected. So I put a jumper in the middle, and now it's rocking like a hurricane, rocking like a whatever. The taillights work now, and it was all inside, taped up inside this wiring loom, so you couldn't see it. And that's what you run into with electrical. Now the hardest part about that whole dang thing is that they were working intermittently, that that wire was touching inside that tape, and every once in a while it would make connection and they would work, but then it would stop again. So once it quit working, it was easier to trace it back up, find the wires, splice it back together with some good old crimp-ons, and now he's good to go. Holy moly! That's what you run into when people do jackleg repairs on Jeeps that don't know what they're doing. You know what I'm saying?
Got that right.
It's fixed. All right, so now on to our next thing. I'm going to tape it up. We'll be good to go. I'm David from the Redneck Garage with Doc Bill.
Hey, hey.
Yeah. Keep turning wrenches.